Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make a roast that you won't believe. Stay tuned. All right, here's the ingredients, people. You got 2 au jus gravy. I use McCormick. Got the 2 Hidden Valley Ranch dip packs, 2 sticks of Blue Bonnet butter, and a 2.79 pound chuck roast. And that, yes, that is a crock pot. Put it in there and just let it roll. So I usually add about a cup of water to it just to give it a little extra gravy, and this thing is magnificent. So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna put all the ingredients in there in a minute and get it cooking. All right, this is so easy to make, a kid can make it. You put your roast in the bottom, sprinkle your 2 packets of au jus on top of it, the McCormick au jus. You put the 2 packs of ranch on it, 2 sticks of butter, and you notice I got a little bit of water in there. And the meat will cook, and the juices from the meat will actually make a lot of gravy in this. You don't have to put that cup of water in there, but I highly recommend it because it does produce a little bit more gravy. And while this stuff is cooking on low heat, you just let it go all night. So put it in before you go to bed, and when you wake up next morning, this thing will actually be falling apart. It'll be so tender. Or if you want to start it before you go to work or whatever, when you get off work, it should be good to go. So just let it cook until the meat is just falling apart. And you talking about good, it is good. So stay tuned. All right, here we go. This is 2 hours into the cooking process, and I flipped the meat. I flipped the chuck roast over. It had a lot of the powder and stuff on the top of it, so I flipped it over, and it's gonna start cooking a little bit better now. You notice there's a lot of butter around the borders here. That's gonna mix up as the meat cooks a little bit. And this thing absolutely does its own cooking. I'm gonna show you an ingredient that I usually add. This is optional ingredient, but I highly suggest that you put a couple of these in here at least, just to give it some flavor. If you don't like hot stuff, you don't have to use it, but stand by and I'll show you what that ingredient is in a second. Golden Creek peppercini. Peppercini peppers. I highly suggest putting a few of these in. It really improves the flavor. I'm not putting a whole lot of them in. I just put a few. Actually, I'm gonna put a couple more in. Some people load it down. I do not. I just put a few of them in for flavor. And these things are just about gonna disappear in a few minutes, so. It's optional, of course. You don't have to put it in there. Just give it a little bit of a flavor. As a matter of fact, I will usually pour just a little bit of the juice in there too. So here we go. 2 hours into the cooking process. Got a long way to go. This thing's gonna cook most of the night. And in a little bit, you're gonna see it's gonna get really, really tender. See how tough it is right now? Next time I do this, it's gonna absolutely shred this chuck roast. So here, about 7 hours later, we have meat that is falling apart. But what I usually use is one of these little choppers. And I'll go in here and I'll mince the meat up a little bit. I'll just take it and cut it up. It's somewhat soft meat. I mean, it's tender. It's falling apart, but this is kind of helping it a little bit. You got some fat in there in it. Obviously, a little bit harder to cut up, but that's the way I mince my meat up. Some people may not want it this torn up. You may want chunks of meat. I mean, you know, that's up to you, but I honestly think that the meat is better the more it's minced up because it gets more juice to it and it's more tender. and not dry. It is possible for this meat to be very dry if it's not cooked right. But there we go. Taste test time. The roast. It's good. It minced up really nice. I'm eating it on bread because that's the way redneck poor boys do. So it's gonna be on bread just like hash. That's kind of the way I like it. Turned out really well. I will tell you something about this recipe though. It only calls for 1 stick of butter, 1 pack of au jus, and 1 ranch. I usually double it and put extra water in there because I like the gravy that it puts off. So you do what you want to do. I do too. More is better to me, and usually it produces enough gravy to where you can eat it on rice, whatever. It's good stuff. I am very pleased. Meal number 2 with the chuck roast. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Got some biscuits, homemade biscuits. And it is off the chain. You hear me? Off chain. I'm telling you right now, can't go wrong with this roast. I'm eating it on bread. Now I'm eating it with mashed potatoes and gravy and biscuits. Till next time, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.